everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cross-stitching update video. In this video I'm going to be spinning a wheel that has some of my cross-stitch projects on it, and my plan is that for every time I spin the wheel I will do 1,000 stitches on that project before I rotate. I also am adding something in, which is that in between wheel spins I am going to be doing 200 or 300 stitches on Pokemon Switch, which is by Glitch Stitch AU. And the reason I'm doing that is because I really want to get this chart finished. I have a few charts that I want to finish this year, and so I'm just going to try and like stick this one in and, you know, every once in a while get an extra 200 or 300 stitches in and try and get it finished. So this is on 18 count 2/1 full cross. And then I also, in the background, like if I feel like working on it, we'll be working on Dragon Hall, which is by Long Dog Sampler. And I am holding this one upside down. This is one that I also want to get finished, but I don't enjoy working on non-full coverages that much. I am definitely more of a full coverage person, and so I will work on this one and do like 100 stitches a day or 200 stitches and just work on it every once in a while. And so at the end of the week I will show you what I get done on this piece, but my main focus pieces will be my wheel spin projects that will get 1,000 stitches, and those are all full coverage. So, and this one I will also mention is on a fabric from thesewingshop.ca called Iron Ore. It's a 20 count and I am stitching it 1/1 full cross. So those two pieces, Pokemon Switch and Dragon Hall. I keep wanting to say Dragon Race into the Night, which is a full coverage. Anyways, I'm going to spin my wheel, which currently has 5 projects on it, and I'm hoping to get to as many of these projects as I can this week, but it really depends on how much stitchy time I have. So I'm actually just going to spin it and then I'll insert the video clip of me doing it, because otherwise sometimes the camera doesn't want to focus on the phone. So screen recorder, start recording. And we will spin and see what it ends up picking for me for my project right now. And we have Cozy Winter Booknook, which is artwork by Rose Kahn and charted by Pain Free Crafts. I will grab that piece so we can see where I am starting on it. Here is Cozy Winter Booknook. This is a very large piece of fabric because this is a pretty large chart. It's over 500,000 stitches, and I started in the top corner. I worked my way over and I have stitched some of the flowers and I've stitched in the window, and currently I am trying to work my way down to the bottom, I think. So the way that I like to work around a chart is I like to pick a color that goes across like the full length. So I'm not having to do a lot of counting in empty spaces. I am doing a lot of just stitching over. So like I used the black to stitch over to this area here. And then I was trying to see what color goes down to the bottom easy. And it looks like there is like some dark, I can't remember if it's dark blue or dark brown, but there is a dark blue or a dark brown that goes down to the bottom, and it's kind of outlining some of the things that are down here. So that's where I'm going to try working down to, is I'm going to try and get down to the bottom corner. This is on a 25 count fabric, 2/1 half cross, and I really just want to get, you know, more of this chart done. I love this artwork so much. Rose Kahn has every piece of artwork from her I think I love. I just can't stitch them all. So I have 2 of her charts that I have currently started, and I love both of them. So I will be back once I have done my 1,000 stitches on Cozy Winter Booknook, and I will be doing 200 or 300 stitches on Pokemon Switch, and then we will spin the wheel again. So I will see you all then. All right. I am back, and I decided to do a little clip on my phone, so if it sounds different, it's because I'm on my phone, and I thought I would go through the process of how I try and pick a color to stitch down. So you can see I have Pattern Keeper open on my tablet. I stitch pretty much all of my charts are PDFs that I put into the app Pattern Keeper, which works on Androids. You can also get it on Kindles if you download the correct software, or you can use it on BlueStacks on PC and iMacs. So you can see in Pattern Keeper, this is where I am. So there's like where I am on my fabric. I am trying to get down to the bottom. And so what I will usually do is I have this area here. When you select different colors on Pattern Keeper, it will highlight them in red, which is the color that I have chosen for my highlights. And so I will usually just click the colors that have the most stitches and see which one will get me closest to the bottom. And so 939 gets me pretty close to the bottom, but there are some gaps, and I don't really like having a lot of gaps because I don't want to count and then have it be wrong. And so I think what I might do is I might stitch on this color here, which is DMC 32, and then take that down to here, and then possibly switch to 939 right here, and then see if I can easily get down here. But there are some gaps, so I might need to just like pick a few different colors and see which one will get me close to the bottom. And then there is a lot of blue down at the bottom for the rug, so that corner there would actually be really fun to just start stitching that blue, because look at that rug. I could get a pretty good outline going with this color 157, which it looks really fun. So that's usually what I like to do, is I will just start clicking around on Pattern Keeper and seeing which color is in which area. So like there's black, but it's all down here. There's not really a lot up here in black. So yeah, I just start clicking around and seeing which color will go to where I want to go. So I could do DMC 32, I could do DMC 31, and then like I said, 939 was okay, but there are some gaps. So I don't know, but like I said, I think I'm going to do 32, switch to 939, and then like I said, down here is going to get a little bit harder. I need to figure out what colors are in that section. There's got to be some colors down there, but I'll have to click through later and see what's down there. Also in Pattern Keeper, you can go and click on the 3 lines, which is hard to do right now when I have a phone in my way. And then you can like view the mock-up. So if you want to see the section that I'm trying to do, this is a section. So I have the blue fabric right here, and then you have the window right here. And I am trying to follow this window down basically. And then that 939 is most likely the outline of this pillow here, where it looks like there's like a moon in the pillow. And then, hey, there will be a cat down there, which is fun. And then a pile of books. And then you have that rug that I was talking about, where there was a lot of that one blue color. So I'm excited. Like when I look at the mock-up and start seeing where that stuff is going to take me, I really enjoy that. So there's another book there, some little tea, a little snack, the cats. I love all of these cats so much. And like there's like little like mice, just little things everywhere, which is part of why I love this chart. But yeah, hey, oh, there's even some little things on the shelf. Yeah. So anyways, I think I'm going to go and get stitching and stitch some of, I think the DMC 32 is like a purple that will be going down this window here. Let me move the tablet. So there's the window. There is the row flowers on the clock. So you can kind of see I have the window, the flowers, and I'm just going to start working down the window and try and get myself to the bottom. I kind of want to do more than 1,000 stitches on this now, seeing like the mock-up and the artwork, because I'm just seeing it looks so fun. So I'm gonna go get to stitching. I will be back once I have an update. I am back, and it is currently Tuesday in the afternoon, and I wanted to give a quick update because yesterday on Cozy Winter Booknook, I did 1,000 stitches all in one day because I was having just such a good time working on it. So I started stitching up here with DMC 32, which is kind of like a purple, and then I brought that down to here, which is DMC 939. and I started working over here, which I was excited about because, and I have my tablet here so I can show you. So the area that I got to is there is like this pillow right here, and then next to the pillow is a cat. And you can't tell it's a cat yet, but yeah, that's where the cat's gonna be. And I did my 1,000 stitches, and I don't think I want to switch projects yet, but I had said that every 1,000 stitches on my projects, I was going to do 200 stitches on Pokemon Switch. And so I pulled out Pokemon Switch this morning, and I did 200 stitches of the blue, which went really fast because I, don't really have to do a lot of like color changes or anything. It's just one color. And so I did 200 stitches on Pokemon Switch. And now I'm going to go back to working on Cozy Winter Booknook. And I think I might do another 1,000 stitches and just see where that gets me, because I still would like to work my way down to the bottom, which I have a ways to go to get down to the bottom. But I also kind of want to work on the cat. And so I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. Let's go back to the pattern keeper of it real quick. So there's the cat right there. And to get to the bottom, I think the easiest way would be there's like an orange color that's in the books, the stack of books. So I think an easy way might be to stitch some of the orange that's in the stack of books, and then to stitch one of the dark colors that outlines the books. Let's see, like the black kind of outlines the books, and then I could stitch on the blue of the carpet. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I might not have showed you very well because I think it was cutting off the bottom of my tablet, but yeah, I think that might be one way to get down to the bottom, is to stitch the stack of books down to the rug, and then I could stitch on some of the colors of the rug. I also really want to stitch on the cat, so we will see what I end up doing, but I'm just having a good time working on it. And I think because I enjoy this chart so much, like I said yesterday, I did 1,000 stitches and I actually wanted to do more. I could have kept stitching, and I told myself, I was like, no, you don't need to stitch all day. You can do other things. I needed to read some books. But yeah, so I will be back once I have another update on Cozy Winter Booknook, and we will see if I end up spinning the wheel or not after that. I was also going to mention about the wheel is you probably noticed that at the end of my last update video, I only had 2 projects on my spin the wheel. And I said that I was saving my 3 favorites until the end of the month. And then I realized like there's only 2 projects on the wheel, and so I ended up adding back all of the other 3 projects. Because I enjoy the wheel more if there are more projects on it. So having only 2 projects, I would have had 1 spin, and then I would have known what the other project would be that I would be working on, because there was only 2. So that's why I ended up putting on those 3 other projects, was just because I had gotten through my other project so fast. So that might have not been a very clear explanation, but that was what I ended up doing. And like I said, the way that I do things throughout the year is probably going to change quite a bit. Like the way that I rotate through projects, but I make the rules. No one is telling me what to do. And so yeah, as I go along, things will probably change, but I will be back once I have an update on this project. I am back, and it is currently Thursday, and I have finished another 1,000 stitches on Cozy Winter Booknook. And I have decided that I will spin the wheel and rotate to the next project. But first I will talk about my progress. So I did stitching in the black right here, which is the outline of the books. So you can see there's like the cat is supposed to be there, and then you have the stack of books. And then I stitched the blue down to the bottom. So this is the bottom corner right here. So this is the blue on the rug. And this is where I'm leaving it for the month, which I am happy because I worked from like way up here and then went all the way down here to the bottom. So I did make quite a bit of progress with my 2,000 stitches. and, you know, just stitching around the chart. I think maybe next time, I can't decide if next month if I want to work across the bottom and try and get to the other corner, if maybe I want to start filling in like the cat, because the cat would be cute to have filled in. So there was my progress on Cozy Winter Booknook. And because I did 1,000 stitches on a project, that means I needed to do stitches on Pokemon Switch. So I will grab that real quick. And here is Pokemon Switch, and I did another 200 stitches, filling in some more blue, which I think there's like 300 stitches of this blue left, and then after that I will be able to start stitching on a different color. So I am excited to, you know, get a color complete soon, which this color should be complete not the next time I pull it out, but the time after that. And then I need to buy the blue that is supposed to be for the lighter area on the Joy-Con. I think it's DMC 598, and I realized I don't have enough for the full Joy-Con, so I need to place an order for some floss and get some colors that I need. So after I finish this blue, I might actually just work on some of the brown then, because I do know that I have this color. I think this is just like 838 or one of those dark browns that's really popular in a lot of charts. So there's my 200 stitches on Pokemon Switch, and I will insert a video clip of me spinning the wheel because I'm currently recording on my phone, and so the spin the wheel app is on my phone, and so yeah, I will insert the clip. And it spun Rose Library, which is artwork by Ivy Dolomore and charted by Unconventional X Stitch. And I will grab that project out so we can see my starting point. So here is Rose Library, and I also pulled the pattern, the mock-up up on my tablet. So you can see the top corner is where I had started, and then I had worked my way down to the flowers, and I can't decide if I want to keep working down or if I want to keep filling in the bookshelf. I think on this one, I'm leaning towards filling in this bookshelf first, and then maybe next month working down to the bottom and doing some of those flowers, because those flowers look very pretty. I will zoom out. So there's the full piece on this chart. I can't decide if I want to save like the little witches for last or what, because, you know, like they're kind of like the main focal point. So I think on this piece, I might kind of just do like everything around them and then save the middle portion for last. But yeah, so I'm going to go stitch on Rose Library and fill in more of the bookshelf. I am back, and it is now Friday, and I have done my 1,000 stitches on Rose Library, and I was working on the shelf here, which you can kind of see in the mock-up what I was working on. So I was filling in the bookshelf. You can see that there is like this little bottle that is appearing on the shelf, and then I was also just filling in a lot of the dark background that is on the shelf. So I have done my 1,000 stitches on Rose Library. That means I need to do 200 stitches on Pokemon Switch, which I have not done yet, but I wanted to get my wheel spin done before my kids get home from school. So I am going to spin the wheel now, and then after I spin the wheel, I will also do my new project plus get my Pokemon Switch stitches in. So we will be spinning the wheel. I actually put it onto my tablet, and I think there's only 3 projects left. So there's the app. Spin the wheel. There is all my projects on there, but okay. So there's my spin the wheel with the 3 projects, and hold on. Here are the 3 projects that are left. So we have Witcher by Thread Geeks, Dragon Race Into the Night by Pain Free Crafts, and Christmas 2, which is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So we're going to spin the wheel, see which one will be picked next. Christmas 2, which is my seasonal piece, which means that on March 1st, Christmas 2 is actually going to be going away, and I will be pulling out my spring piece because this piece is my winter project. So Christmas 2 is artwork by Ciro Marchetti, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, or HADE, as you may sometimes hear it called. And I am stitching mine on 32 count, 1/1 tent stitch, which is a half stitch. And I started in the top corner, but last month in January, I worked my way down to where a snow globe is going to be. So you can see right here, there's the snow globe, and so I just followed some of these dark stitches down, which it looks like the dark stitches go around the window, and so I will be trying to work in the snow globe, and hopefully I can get some of like the little house done, because that would be real cute. That's a little cute house. I really wanted to work my way down there because this area just looked fun to stitch. I also really like the colors that are in the window, those like blues and then fading down to the yellows. That also looks like it's going to be very fun to stitch. Anyways, I am going to get stitching, and the next time I come back, I will hopefully have progress on Pokemon Switch and on Christmas too. I am back, and it is now Tuesday, and I'm going to say that over the weekend I did not get a lot of stitching done, so I actually have not finished my 1,000 stitches yet on Christmas too. I think I've only done like 200 or 300 stitches, and so I'm going to end this video now, which means that in the next video I will keep working on Christmas 2, and then once I have reached 1,000 stitches, then I will spin the wheel, and I will be getting either Dragon Race Into the Night or Witcher, because those are the 2 projects left on the wheel. Real quick, I was going to show my progress on 2 other pieces though, so I will show them very quick. So I did do my stitching on Pokemon Switch. I did 200 stitches for after I had finished working on whatever my last project was before Christmas 2, I still needed to do 200 stitches on Pokemon Switch. And then I also did another 200 stitches for this piece, because I thought I was going to have this piece finished by today, and I don't. So I've already done the 200 stitches for this piece, and I was able to finish off this blue, and then I also did some of the brown. So Pokemon Switch, I have done my stitches already for this piece. Yay! Excited to have that done. And then I also have been working a tiny little bit on Dragon Hall by Long Dog Sampler. I think my needle winder is sticking to something. Anyways, and I finished the black on the bottom right here. So I took the black down to the bottom on this piece of fabric, and then I also have been stitching my way up to the top, but it wasn't a ton of stitches. And like I said, the weekend was not very productive. I did not stitch at all on Saturday or Sunday, and then Monday I was working on Pokemon Switch, and then I also did a few hundred stitches into Christmas too, and that was it. And so today, like I said, it's Tuesday. I will continue working on Christmas too, but that will be in my next video. So that's where I'm going to leave this video. Thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!